Hello and welcome to Tigers Roar. We are here at Scoreboards like every Wednesday. I'm Jonathan Poche alongside the Bud Man, Buddy Sanji. Good to see you, Bud Man.
Good to see you, JP.
And it is football season, but I had to show you a little bit of basketball. That's Skylar Mays, senior LSU guard, slamming, posterizing the Valencia All-Stars while the team is out there in Spain. Gotta love the early publicity for the LSU Tiger basketball team.
Yeah, just came back from coming back from the Spain trip, went 3-1 and played pretty well. Obviously bonding, developed some new guys, but Skylar, Sky, definitely showed some hops there. And boy, you're just happy that he came back and Javonte Smart came back and of course Emmett Williams. This is going to be a lot of fun, but folks, 10 days away and it is raining, and I will just say this as a little bit of a crazy tidbit here. All the days, years back, when LSU baseball would have media day and it rained, they'd win national championships. And Skip, of course, won 5 in a period. I'm not saying that LSU will win a national championship in football, but I'm saying that there are going to be some rain this year, and it's either going to be tears of joy or tears of sorrow, because we are getting close, and the excitement level, JP, is building up very quickly.
Week 1, right around the corner. Georgia Southern coming into Tiger Stadium, taking on the Tigers. Scrimmage number 2 was this past weekend. Joe Burrow did practice. He did play. He looked good. The guy that really stood out is a guy that you've been talking about for weeks now, Mr. Racey McMath.
Yeah, Racey McMath got some reps. Of course, Justin Jefferson, they sat out. And you know, we've had this discussion both on TV and radio. When you know what a guy can do, don't take his legs away and don't get him hurt on these scrimmages. We talked about it with Fournette and Geis and all these other guys. So they've really been smart. They've made sure that they're bringing these guys back. By the way, Damian Lewis back at practice today. Justin Thomas back at practice today. Still a little bit of shaky depth on the O-line, but Joe Burrow telling Mike Scarborough, who we'll talk to in the second hour today, and other members of the media, that he's really impressed because the O-line is the most improved unit on the team. We will see if that comes to fruition starting August 31st.
Talking about the O-line, LSU did have a bump last week. Cardell Thomas, the outstanding freshman, did hurt his ankle. He'll be out for a significant amount of time. Buddy, what about that injury, and how is that going to impact this offensive line?
Well, he was making great progress, and it's sad to see because Cardell Thomas missed some work early, and then he finally comes along and got hit in the back of the leg. It looks like an ankle, a serious ankle injury. And so the good thing about the rule is that if he comes back late, he can play 4 games and, of course, still redshirt. The problem is that when you are hurt like that, you got a tendency to gain a little weight. And so I don't know if they're going to have him at their disposal or not. Thomas Perry is another true offensive freshman and tackle, which they have not released, but we're hearing that he had a foot injury. So look, but Derek Traore and Anthony Bradford, 2 guys on the outside, they've had to move them inside to give them depth. Chasen Hines has been in and out, and once again, it still is going to be interesting. But you know, Donovan Campbell, big number 71, looks like he's going to have to play. But hey, they're going to get rid of it quicker, so if the offensive line can hold up and not sustain injuries during the season, they'll be okay. But if Cushenberry and others go down, then somebody better get the rosary beads out, JP.
Well, the defense side of the ball, Grant Delpit, the outstanding young safety for the Tigers, has been back on the practice field. He's looking for a huge year. Expectations are through the roof for him, both in Baton Rouge and nationally. He's ranked like the 4th best college player returning for this season. So, I mean, the sky is the limit for that young man.
Well, the second day Grant was back at practice, you could tell his personality was back. And you know, we talk about this all the time. We talk injuries a lot. And I've seen this and I've talked to guys, and man, when you are feeling good and busting helmets and intercepting balls and catching everything and sacking the quarterback, and that great play he made on that fake field goal that helped turn the Georgia game into a big win for LSU, you never think about your health. You never think about it. You just expect it. But all of a sudden, you get a serious injury and you have a lingering hammy. Now you start to say, man, when am I going to be healthy again? When am I going to be the Grant Delpit? Of course, he's been deemed to wear the 7, and that was a much better choice than last year's choice, as we know. But Grant Delpit is certainly one of the best players and probably the best DB in the country, and we think he'll start showing it on the night of August 31.
Yeah.
5 sacks, 5 INTs. I'm in a big mood today. Get me a 6-pack. I'm going 6 sacks and 6 INTs.
Wow.
For Grant Delpit this year.
High expectations for Grant Delpit. He has his own high expectations for this DB core. He said it's the best in the nation. They have some young freshmen showing up for the LSU Tigers in that secondary.
Well, we'll see if that is legitimate talk or not. Now, Georgia Southern comes in here. They're not going to test him, but the second week of the year, Sam Ehlinger is one of the better quarterbacks of the country. And for all those people getting ready to go to Texas, hold on to your wallet because they're going to gouge you, and it's going to cost you a bunch to get in there. But a lot of people in Texas tell me LSU will have a lot of fans in there. So they only gave LSU 3,000 tickets. Texas comes back next year in a return game in week 2. I know Scott Woodward, the AD, is only going to give them 3, but a lot of LSU fans in Texas. So I know there'll be more than 3,000 Tiger fans in there.
Not only to get into the stadium is going to cost you a pretty penny. Find out somewhere to sleep. Hotel rooms have gone through the roof in Austin. It's going to be definitely a big event. But I do agree they will have some purple and gold representing in Austin, Texas.
And of course, you got to go one game at a time. So once again, 10 days away from the start of the 2019 season. By the way, shout out to TK, a guy who's been on this stage and done radio and TV and play-by-play. He told me, he said, book it, Dano, book it, Budman.
Uh-oh.
They will be number 6 in the preseason AP poll. Of course, the coaches came out first and said 6. I said 6 or 7. Media decided to follow the coaches. And, right on that second ledge behind Alabama, Clemson, Georgia, Ohio State, and Oklahoma, those right now considered the 5 best college football programs. Can LSU make a statement, JP, and get into the discussion on Saturdays before the games kick? Because, as we know, once you start playing, it goes by mighty quick.
Speaking of that AP Top 25 preseason poll, number 1, Clemson for the first time ever over Alabama. Definitely deserved what they did in the national championship to Nick Saban's team. But also Texas at number 10. So week 2 could be a top 10 matchup between 2 outstanding schools and a lot of implications moving forward.
Well, and then you have the matchup with Ed Orgeron and Tom Herman. And, of course, you got Ehlinger last year screaming to everybody in the Superdome.
We're back.
That's right. We're back after beating the I think Georgia players, so you could tell during the game, they were thinking about the French Quarter or the Bourbon Street or whatever. But look, give them credit. They beat, Texas beat them, and we'll see what Texas team LSU faces the night of September 7th. But it does look like that will give you an early litmus test about how good or possibly great this LSU football team could be this year.
Got to give it to the Texas quarterback. Before that game in the Superdome, he walked onto the Superdome field wearing a Drew Brees high school jersey. Outstanding by that young man. Gave him a lot of props for that. But we're back. That puts a lot of expectations on your program. We'll see what Tom Herman's crew can do this year. We'll talk some NFL, some New Orleans Saints action. Week 2 of the preseason is in the books. Saints with a big comeback win over the Chargers. A lot of guys got some playing time. Teddy Bridgewater, of course, started. Drew Brees only has 44 snaps in the last 3 preseasons combined. No surprise he hasn't seen any action yet. But this week, week 3 against the Jets, Sean Payton says they do expect to see Drew Brees out there. Look forward to seeing number 9 under center.
Well, you've been beating up Bridgewater, and so I am affectionately going to call him Teddy Bridge over troubled water, because he did not do anything with his pocket presence, his poise. This is a veteran guy. You expect him to play a little bit better. Taysom Hill looks like he's getting better. And I know that it's Jonathan Winter's garbage time in the second half of exhibition games, but it was good to see that young man show a little moxie, a little poise, a little gut, a little fire, passion, and lead that team back. But Teddy Bridgewater right now, that could be bridge over troubled water if he doesn't get better.
17-3 at halftime. Taysom Hill brings them all the way back for the 19-17 victory through 2 touchdown passes. We'll see some highlights and talk about the Saints a little bit later on in this program. But we got to dive into all kinds of LSU football when we get back after this first break. But before we go to break, I want to tell you about scoreboards. 10655 Coursey Boulevard, right between Sherwood Forest and Airline. Great food. Come check it out. TVs everywhere. Had the Little League World Series playing. Got to give a shout out to the Louisiana team from River Ridge. But there you see the weekly menu. Every day something special. Are closed on Monday, but they pick it up on Tuesday with the chicken fettuccine. Wednesday, red beans and rice with sausage. Thursday, you got the hamburger steak. And the Friday crawfish etouffee is outstanding. every day on the weekend they have some kind of live entertainment, so it's always something special here at Scoreboards. Not to mention on Wednesdays, you can catch us right here doing Tigers Roar. Gotta take a quick break. We come back, we'll dive into all that you want to know about LSU football. I'm Jonathan Poche. He's Buddy Sanji. Come back and join us after this break.
Remember what these trips were like before you put the screens in the back seats?
I don't want to think about it.
Are we there yet? I'm hungry. Where are we?
Go. That game should keep them occupied.
Oh, yeah!
Dad.
Oh, in your face!
Don't make me get back there.
You don't need a new car to have new technology. Mike's Audio, conveniently located on Airline Highway near the corner of Bluebonnet.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology, which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Welcome back to Tigers Roar. Jonathan Poche alongside Buddy Sanji, ready to talk some LSU football. As we mentioned in the first segment, second preseason scrimmage went down this Saturday, Tiger Stadium. Joe Burrow did start the offense, threw a couple touchdowns, looked good in a 2-minute drill. Coach Joe had a lot of good things to say about his quarterback, number 9.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Much better offense, and let's be honest, folks. These preseason games, aka scrimmages, situational for the most part, working on all the things that you work on, not necessarily a full scrimmage like a real game. They're trying to work on 2-minute, red zone, all of the stuff that you situationally prepare. Burrow, of course, was back, did much better. There you see a guy who's going to be a factor, Thaddeus Moss. Joe Burrow was bragging about Thaddeus Moss, of course. That's Torrey right there, Carter. He's showing you the little tight ends. This is a guy that I'm excited to get back. Mr. Pettigrew, 6'5", and big target. Of course, we know that LSU is going to spread the football around. Didn't really run it that much, but they did throw it. And this week, of course, the third scrimmage on Saturday, kind of a walkthrough and just getting everybody. But look, they should have fresh legs, and for the most part, just about everybody will be back other than Perry and Thomas and maybe a couple others. But they're rounded into shape, JP.
There you see the quarterbacks working with the tight ends group. Also, Torrey Carter, so he's going to play some fullback / tight end. So if they can get that element really worked into the offense, that can really open up the middle, which helps the running game and helps those playmakers on the outside.
Well, you know my name, and the tight ends are in there, the receivers in there. It's called the Brady Bunch, and there's going to be plenty of bunch formation, and there's going to be plenty of tutelage with Joe Brady and Steve Ensminger. JP, I just want to see it for a whole game. Just that shotgun, hurry up tempo, get rid of it quick, slants, screens, bubbles, sluggo. I mean, they're going to do it all. And, of course, the wheel route, and look, these freshman running backs are coming into shape. The light's coming on for them. Of course, we know that, obviously, John Emery and Tyrion Davis-Price want to prove to all of you fans out there early that they belong. I guess it's been a couple times this week where Chris Curry's missed, but Clyde Edwards-Helaire, don't sleep on him. And in fact, I'm calling it right now. Clyde Edwards-Helaire will have over 100 yards rushing against Georgia Southern.
Clyde did have the Drew Brees treatment for the preseason #2, so the freshman got bulk of the carries. I heard John Emery really stood out, had an outstanding game, scored a couple times, and really flashed on the field.
Yeah. He's, I called him Thunder and Lightning. Tyrion Davis-Price is about 2 1/4 and can certainly be a good short yardage runner. And Emery, as we have said, he can take it to the house on every play, JP. So LSU has some bona fide difference makers and big play potential. And once again, don't forget now, Joe Burrow is still going to run. Joe likes to run. We hope that he gets his pad level a little down this year and doesn't take some of those shots he took last year. But it's really exciting. And for those of you worried about the defense, trust me when I tell you, they will probably substitute more on defense more this year than they did last year. And it might take 2 or 3 guys to replace a Devin White. But Caleb Von Chason is back. And, I'm expecting big things from number 18.
There you see right there the quarterback's working on the read option, the RPO. Joe Brady special at practice right there with the running backs. That's really going to open up some things for Joe Burrow, getting his legs going. If they can master that read option, that is absolutely a very tough read for a lot of college defenses. It's very assignment-driven defense. If you mess up on one play, a guy can take it to the house.
Well, if you remember, that's one of the things that kind of busted up the LSU-Georgia game when Joe Burrow took it. And it took the ball out of the back's belly and took it down the sidelines and ran to about the 5-yard line. And Joe is not Michael Vick or any of these great runners when he gets in the open field.
No, not Michael Vick.
But he does a good job of getting the most out of his talent. He's a smart guy. If he just would get down a little bit and not take the shots. But I think everybody has certainly gone all in. And look, Thaddeus Moss and him, tight as can be right now. All of the guys, Terrace Marshall, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and 2 freshmen who are now coming here. And Devonta Lee is the big 6'1", 2 1/4 from Tangipahoa Parish, of course, played with that Sofser kid. Mm-hmm. He is a beast in the end zone, leaping over people, love the fade and the jump balls. And then Trey Palmer, a poor man's Odell Beckham Jr. as a freshman, number 33. You're going to love him, folks. 3-3. Wait for Trey Palmer. He'll be scoring early, right in that TV set real soon for all you Tiger fans. And that's right. I'm thinking probably the first game.
I want to let you hear from head coach Ed Orgeron, his comments after the second preseason scrimmage for the Tigers. Here is head coach Ed Orgeron right here on Tigers Roar.
A lot of great things went on. Preparation all week. Having Joe back, offense looked really good. Joe was 14 of 24 for 160 yards, 2 touchdowns, but did get sacked twice, and I called the sacks very fast. Miles had a good day. He was 13 of 25, 260 yards, 1 touchdown. He had 1 long with 56 yards. But he was sacked 3 times. Overall, we had 6 sacks on the defense. So The offense came out and really moved the ball on the first defense, and in the second half, the defense stopped the offense pretty well. And we ended up with a 2-minute drive. Joe scored with a 2-minute drive, then went in overtime. Both teams kicked the field goal. The lightning was coming, so we had to stop it then. We wanted to play our young running backs today. They handled the most of the carries, most of the snaps. John Henry had 11 attempts for 68 yards, along with 36. Tyron Davis had 13 attempts for 20 yards, made some good, tough yardage, especially short yardage and goal line. I thought both of those guys looked outstanding. Rayson McMahon led the day with 6 receptions for 58 yards. Jerry Jenkins had a good day, 4 receptions for 73 yards. Jamar Chase had another good day, 5 receptions for 45 yards. And then Stephon Sullivan had 2. We gave Justin Jefferson a break today. There was nothing wrong with him. He just had a lot of wear and tear. We gave him the day off, so did we give Clyde the day off today. Kicking, Cade York was 7-8, with the longest of 51 again. He did a tremendous job. We had a lot of special teams, a lot of substitution. Was outstanding today on the sideline. Coach Mack did a tremendous job. We made it game light. I thought our guys came out to play. We had a little rain. We kept on playing, the sun shining, and we got to finish an outstanding scrimmage. Any questions?
Questions? Hey, you added Bill Johnson to your staff. I guess just kind of, when did you start approaching him about kind of wanting to get a full-time person in that role, and what do you think he can bring?
Yeah, you know, with me coaching the defensive front, Kenichi and Christian was going well. And, you know, my job, is, as we all know, is to be the head coach first. And that's what I always wanted to do. And I thought at the time that was the best solution. And it was a good solution. And then Bill came to visit. And I thought about approaching him about being a defensive line coach. And, you know, he's from Louisiana. And he said, well, you know, I got to think about it. And then he turned around 2 seconds left and said, I'm coming. So you know, he's always wanted to coach at LSU. Bill's an outstanding coach. Has coached a lot of great players. Coached Aaron Donald last year. Coached the Saints, a Super Bowl champion. Had a lot of experience. He's a tremendous teacher. The players are going to love him. The way he cares about them. And Dave's going to like him on the staff. He's a great staff guy. He's a great recruiter. He did a tremendous job recruiting. He did college football for a long time. So I think he brings a wealth of things to our staff. I'm glad to have him.
And then how do you imagine things kind of working once Dennis Johnson recovers and whatnot? And also, is there any kind of timeline there?
Yeah, we're going to see what happens. Bill's the defensive line coach for this year. Then we're going to revisit everything, see what happens. Then we can tell what happens in college football. So I'm leaving that door open to see what happens at the end.
How did this scrimmage different than last time, as far as the way it was set up, how many plays were run? I mean, what did you work on this time?
Yeah. You know, last time we had situations, we had team run, we had third down. We went straight into game mode today. And, you know, last scrimmage, we go 10 plays, and then it'll be out. This play, we ran it just like game this time. If they go 3 and out, they're out, and we flip the field. So that's the situation that we'll run it just like a game without the punting in between.
Hey, down here with Kenichi, what works with him now?
He's back in analyst. He's an analyst now, and like he originally came. Bill is the defensive line coach. Coach Dennis Johnson is in an analyst position now. So we'll give him time to get healthy. On the field coaches of Bill Johnson and Christian Oxford is his graduate assistant, but Bill now assumes all the defensive line duties.
Hey, Coach, we heard that this was a really important scrimmage. After today, do you have a pretty good grasp of who your starters are, or do you still have a lot of?
Yeah, you know, first of all, we're going to look at the tape. And I feel like I know who our starters are going to be in most positions. The left guard position is not solidified yet. Obviously, there's going to be some rotating on defense that we got to look at. You know, Grant Telford is a starter for us, but hasn't scrimmaged. We got to look at who's going to be the third safety. We got to look at who's going to be the starting linebacker. Is it Jacob Phillips? Is it Patrick Green? Is it Damone Clark? And I don't think we have to make a decision now. But those are the things that seem up for grabs right now. Thaddeus Moss is making a big push to be considered as a starter. I want to see the two young running backs to see if they're ready to play. Today they showed me that they're ready to play, so we can put them in a live action, and I think they can perform well.
Coach, the candidates at that left guard position today, did you like the way they played? Is there one guy that maybe you want in that position but is not quite there yet?
Yeah, I like another Damian Lewis, but no, you know, Chase Eichenheisen has all the physical tools and skills to be an outstanding player, but you know he's had a hampering injury, so he hasn't been put through the fire yet. Adrian McGee is another guy that is a veteran there, has played some good football, so I think those two guys are vying for that starting spot right now. We'll see. Cordell Thomas is going to have surgery on his leg. It's an unfortunate injury, just got hit from behind. It was an accident. We'll have surgery on his leg. And he'd have been in the mix, not necessarily a starter, but he'd have been given an opportunity to earn the starting position throughout the season. So I think we're strong in this spot, and getting Damian Lewis back is going to help us. We moved Anthony Bradford from tackle to guard, which he is more suited to play guard. We think that Bedora Traore can play both tackle and guard. Obviously, we're thin on the offensive line, so that has some guys that have to play both positions.
Hey, Coach, you just mentioned, you know, obviously the O guards have been banged up. I mean, just kind of how does the offensive line as a unit hold up today?
Yeah, I thought they did well. We challenged them. Coach Craig was fired up early this morning. We challenged those guys, next man up. We don't blink. We played with 8 starters in a major bowl and won the game. So we're giving these guys opportunities to play. This is going to be big to see those guys on film and how well they did.
And just to be clear, Cardell's out for the year with the surgery?
Well, I don't know if he's out for a year, but I know he's getting surgery. I think it probably is. I haven't heard the final result of that, but he is getting surgery with the leg.
Coach, with the lack of depth at the offensive line and the defense having 2 productive scrimmages, are you excited but kind of taking that as a grain of salt with who they're going against?
Yeah, you know, it's when the offensive line was intact, they were winning the line of scrimmage. And I think that's what you're getting at. I do believe our defensive line has made some progress, especially against the run. The last couple of days, they got better at their technique, lowered their stance, but we still have a ways to go. In order for us to be a dominant football team, this group has to make progress throughout the season.
I know the injuries and the thin line and everything, but did they perform a little better today, the offensive line, than last week?
Oh, yes, no question. We moved the ball. We got after the defense. You hear me saying I was a big offensive guy the first half there, but we got after the defense today. And they came out with the upper hand. I think that they controlled probably, but I say at least the first half of the scrimmage. The defense came out and controlled the second half. And then the offense came out and had a great 2-minute drive at the end.
Anthony Bradford looked like he got some reps at guard. Was that kind of an idea for him, and where is he in that?
Yeah, I think he's more suited to guard right now, and he's, obviously looks like a guard. He's big and he's physical. We needed help in there. We thought that he could do a better job at guard, and Bedard could do a better job at tackle for us, and that's why we moved them in there with the depth.
We obviously know kind of those top guys at receiver, but who do you kind of see, rounding out the rest of that rotation? How deep do you imagine that will go?
Yeah, I'm excited by Rayson McMath, what he's done. He's catching the ball. He's big and strong. Rayson's one of our best special teams player. I'm excited about Trey Palmer. I think that guy's going to be an excellent receiver. I'm excited about seeing Stephon Sullivan catching the ball at tight end and Thaddeus Moss. So I think those two guys have shown, Terrence Marshall has really come on strong at the end. So I think I mentioned all those guys. DeRay Jenkins, he's had a good camp, so he can come in and get some good snaps for us.
Coach, with the running backs being a little bit better today, did you script more running plays by design, or was it just by happenstance they had a more productive?
No, we wanted to give them the ball. We wanted to see what they had. And that was, Steve and I talked about that last night, and those guys did a good job. But we also had a little bit more passes than runs, and we want to be 50-50. So I think that when we get Clyde in there and get Lenore back in there and get Chris Curry was out today. He couldn't practice. we'll get all our backs in there. We'll be 50-50.
And how does Donovan Campbell fit with all the guys competing in guard?
He's doing well. He's doing well. He's probably had his best camp. He's in there. He's going out. He's going in the game last year and took significant snaps for us. He can play for us. We have no problem putting him in. He's not a starter yet, but he's doing better.
Coach, three of your bigger name guys on defense, we've been talking about Fulton, Delpit, Jason. The next 2 weeks, you think they'll be 100%
Oh,
ready?
yeah, they're close. They're very close. I think if we had to play a game today, we could have pushed it. All three of those guys could have played, but we didn't want to do that. I think next week, we're going into game mode next week. They'll be taking all the first team reps. They should be healthy enough to go team, to do pass rush, to do all the things that we need them to do, because we won't be scrimmaging. Next Saturday, it will be helmets only. We'll simulate a game type scrimmage, work on substitutions, so the next time we go live, it's going to be game day.
And how have you seen the battle at nose tackle recently? I mean, it seems like Apu's status recently hasn't been around.
Apu's been out for a couple of days. And, who's coming along is Joe. Joe Evans is showing that he can play. He can go in there and get some snaps. Tyler had a real big hit today on John Emery, and I think it was in the overtime period. He still needs to get in shape. He's still got a nagging knee injury. He still needs to be more consistent, so we still have some work to do there.
Coach, with these guys that are banged up in any position, just overall, if the first two games were swapped with Georgia Southern going second instead of first, would their rehab process be a little bit different?
You want to get him in trouble, don't you? No, I just think that during camp we didn't want to take a shot. We didn't want to take a shot of those guys going re-injuring their injury. It had nothing to do with that, to be honest with you.
That was head coach Ed Ogeron, and buddy, you heard Coach O saying his famous O voice. You're trying to get me in trouble, huh? Talking about the guys he rested up leading to the Georgia Southern game. If it would have been the same, if they had played Texas week 1, he didn't want any part of that question. He just wants to get his guys healthy and ready to go for the regular season. And look, nobody's more pumped up than Coach O.
Well, the conventional thing they've been putting out the last couple of years, one team, one heartbeat, but block out the noise.
Yep.
And Joe, you'll hear it from Joe Burrow, you'll hear it from Grant Delpit, by the way, two superstars. And I know it's hard to people visualizing Joe Burrow as superstars, but I've already said it, I'm on record. I think if he stays in the games late enough, he's going to break Rohan Davies' passing record. I really think the passing yardage is through the roof this year. And Grant Delpit, man, what a, and that's what it's all about, to have guys on both sides of the ball that people look to. Look, Devin White's going to be tough to replace as a leader.
Right.
Everybody on that team followed him. But Burrow on offense, Grant Delpit on defense, two great potentially superstars. Of course, they're all on all of the preseason list. Delpit and Fulton and Chase on all of them. So it's almost time to stop talking and watch what we want to see. But it's exciting, and I haven't talked to one Tiger fan. The worst prediction I've gotten all summer is 9-3, and that was a guy who told me this after his wife had left him 2 days earlier.
Wow.
So
wow.
He obviously had a lot of problems, but 10-2, 11-1, and there is a 12-0 club. So we'll talk about that, but high expectations, and once again, I don't know what to think about the Saints because it's hard to gauge
Preseason.
the DBs and all the other. Sorry about that, folks.
Popular guy.
Usually I have that on silent, but I hate it that you just don't get an idea about the Saints until you really tee it up for real.
Right. Well, 20 of the 22 starters from the NFC Championship will return to the Saints. So, look, it remains to be seen what they can do this season. When we come back after this break, we'll hear from the quarterback, Joe Burrow, number 9, right here on Tigers Roar. I am Jonathan Poche. He is Buddy Sanji. We're here at Scoreboards. You're watching Tigers Roar.
Creel Tree Service is a licensed and insured tree service providing tree and stump removal, topping, trimming, cabling, pruning, and fertilizing. We have free stump removal with takedowns, free estimates, affordable rates, and senior citizens discounts. Call 774-TREE That's 774-8733. Get your yard ready for the warmer weather. If it deals with a tree, call me, Creel Tree Service, 774-8733. That's 774-TREE.
When my wife and I started Relief Windows, what we were trying to do, what our goal was to give a quality job to a homeowner. Everybody's scared of contractors. We wanted to change the mold of what that is. Not showing up on time, not answering the phone, somebody running with your money. The reason why you should pick Relief Windows to do your renovation of your home, windows, doors, Hardy Plank or siding, is because of the experience, quality service of our company. Service is everything we have. It's the foundation of our company. We're going to show up on time. We're going to do the job right. Over 60% of our customers is customer referral. We're a local company here in Baton Rouge, built in Baton Rouge, staying in Baton Rouge. Okay. The job's not done until you're happy and we're happy. It's built the old-fashioned way, with a handshake. Here at Relief Windows, it's an honor to be official window, door, and siding company of LSU Athletics, from one winning team to another.
Remember the smell of vinyl? What happened to all your old records? Lost in a move? Thrown out by the ex? Get them back. Classic Vinyl's Record Store and Collectibles, 13847 Coursey, where you can find all old vinyl, all genres of music, rock, country, blues, and R&B. Classic Vinyls and Collectibles behind Mary Lee Donuts and Coursey. If they don't have it, they'll get it. Look for them on Facebook. Classic Vinyls, sponsors of Classic Vinyls Classic Rock Night Thursdays at Scoreboards on Coursey.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Hello. Hola. 你好.
Experience what the Baton Rouge International School can offer your children. Now welcoming displaced students for short and long-term stability.
This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-654-9927, 800-654-9927.
Welcome back to Tigers Roar. Jonathan Poche alongside Buddy Sanjay. It's time to bring in the man from TigerBait.com, Mr. Mike Scarborough. Mike, how are you this evening?
Hey, doing good. Glad to be with you guys as always.
Certainly glad to have you, Mike. I know you've been busy as always, but getting into preseason game number 2, on to preseason, really the start of the season in 10 days. What is your feel around the program? How is everybody progressing, and what are your expectations for week 1?
Well, I mean, look, it's, Ed Orgeron, is basically saying that a lot of these injuries that start to get you worried have all been the 3- and 4-day variety. So, the main thing now is to pull back, get these guys their legs, and get everyone back that's kind of been missing some time. And one by one, they have been getting those guys. So, look, I don't think anything's changed. I had an idea of what I thought the team could be going into the season. Yeah. And I think once we started seeing them at practice, the fact that, knock on wood, there's been no catastrophic injuries or none that we know about of the main guys, I think everything's there that you expected it to be. So, before you know it, the kickoff will be here.
Yeah.
By the way, Chasen Hines out today again. Fehoko out again today. Dillon and Stephon Sullivan, but Damian Lewis back, Justin Thomas back. Mike, Coach O talking about these things, and I think we've had discussion both on TV and radio. People would rather them miss practice and be eligible to play in the games. I'll say eligible as far as health-wise go, versus practicing and scrimmaging and then not being anything more than 60 or 70%. So other than Cardell Thomas and obviously Thomas Perry, who had a foot injury, did O ever address that? He hadn't said anything about him yet.
I'm not sure if he did. I got pulled away right when he was in the middle of his presser, so I don't know if he addressed that. I know Perry's got a foot issue that is not something to sneeze at, I'm told. Cardell Thomas, someone I know saw him coming out of the doctor's office on Monday. You know, for all likely purposes, he's done for the season. So, yeah, you know, I think that that's pretty much it. You know, Grant Delpit told us last night that he's 100%. So, and of course in the scrimmage, they kept Jefferson and Edwards-Helaire out, even though there was nothing. He just didn't need to see them. He knows what they can do. So, I imagine that he's going to be he's been doing that with a lot of the upperclassmen. Particularly, you know, you wonder what they're going to be doing with offensive linemen the rest of the way.
Yeah, you know, Mike, and Mike and I have been out there a lot, JP, and you forget we're only out there 30 minutes, and of course we're in our shorts and all that. Mike, it's amazing to see those big guys out there in that heat, and of course there's no 20-hour rule right now, but it is amazing, and I love the fact that Coach O has cut back a little bit, got out of the pads, gone indoors. The other day they even practiced without the helmets because that heat is brutal, and most everybody looks to be in good shape. Tyler Shelvin and Ike have missed a little bit, but I think rounded into shape, it looks like they're kind of massaging this thing to where most everybody should be ready. And Mike, are you still sitting on 11-1? Are you going with TK at 12-0, or you going with the Bud man who's going 10-2 this year? And if it wasn't for injuries in the offensive line, I'd buy the 11-1. But right now I'm going 10-2 simply because I still don't think they have enough offensive linemen to hold up and beat the big guys in the SEC down the stretch. Now, if they stay healthy, certainly they got a chance, but I worry about the depth on the offensive line and the injuries down the road, Mike.
Yeah, no, and that's right. You know, what happens if you have a couple of offensive linemen nicked up when you hit that stretch in November, beat not just Alabama?
Yeah.
You know, then, yeah. I think 11-1, if that offensive line can stay healthy, certainly it's safer to go with 10-2, but I'm going to go ahead and stick with 11-1.
All right, let's.
I won't be. I don't think any LSU fan, if you're predicting 11-1, should be disappointed with 10-2. I think where you should be disappointed is if it's 9-3.
Yeah. Hey, listen, Mike. Real quick before we get into the recruiting aspect of it, and obviously there's been a lot of tweets and a lot of innuendos with Chase on others, but who do you see as having coming out parties on the offense this year?
I just think, you know, Jamar Chase and Marshall go to the next level. I mean, I think, you know, John Emery could certainly have a magical freshman season. I've heard no information about him putting the ball on the ground. So if he holds on to the ball, I think he could absolutely be special. But, you know, Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the passing game, I think that could absolutely be big. And if this Thaddeus Moss stuff that we keep getting, if that holds true, what a nice shot in the arm that would be if he ends up delivering for LSU, because, you know, most people that cover the team probably didn't think that he was going to, you know, where he was just a write-off. So, you know, and then, of course, Stephon Sullivan, I think those are the guys that can have breakouts on the offense. And, you know, and Burrow, I think, is going to have a better senior year than he had last year. So, but yeah, but how much are we talking about the offensive line and their issues and how that's the weak link and all that stuff? But how much is that offensive line going to be helped by the fact that they are going to be a tempo offense? They are going to get rid of the ball quick. All that, the offense actually aids that offensive line.
Yeah.
And you were there yesterday when Joe Burrow actually gave props to the offensive line and how much improvement they've made this year.
Yeah,
Mike.
yeah. I mean, it's not like they're running that Dallas Cowboys offense under Les Miles where they had to hold blocks for 4 and 5 seconds.
Mike, a guy on the defense that Coach O has been really high on so far has been Damone Clark. What impact do you think he's going to have on the Tigers this season?
Yeah, he's I've been saying it since he first got on campus. He could be an IFBB pro bodybuilder if he wanted to be. And now you got Patrick Queen and other linebackers talking about how not only is he gifted physically, but his intelligence on the football field and the fact that he's now instructing all the other linebackers what the plays are, where they're supposed to be, and that's very impressive. The one thing you can say about Orgeron when he goes into a press conference is it's very hard for him not to just tell you what he's thinking, and when he starts talking about Damone Clark and within the first week pushing for a starting spot, and that hasn't let up, and Orgeron says things and he's very candid, that's where he is absolutely real. And of course, one of the real things he said on Saturday was talking about the future of the defensive line position and who would be coaching it beyond this season. And that was very telling when he said, we'll see about, having an interim assistant coach now and DJ once he gets healthy. And then, but does that necessarily go back to form after? That's had a lot of people buzzing since Saturday.
Bill Johnson, of course, is now going to coach the D-line this year. I think most people know that. Meatball finally got out of the wheelchair. I'll tell you what I've seen at practice and the emphasis, and I think Tiger fans are going to really enjoy this. And last year, once Chason got hurt, guys, LSU ended up with 34 sacks for the year. I'm watching, in fact, Coach O was working on it yesterday. They want to attack that quarterback, more sacks. Chason is going to give you double digits if he stays healthy. But I think LSU is going to be a lot more aggressive with their front four, go after the quarterback. And why not? You got two lockdown corners in Stingley and Kristen Fulton. So, Mike, I'm expecting a lot more sacks, but there's two things that we got to mention that is still prevalent, and that is drops by the wide receivers and sacks given up by the offensive line. The first scrimmage, they gave up 5 sacks. The second scrimmage, they gave up 6 sacks. And supposedly there were 7 or 8 drop balls in this last scrimmage. So 2 areas still to work on, JP and Mike, in my opinion.
Well, but, the other thing about that is how do you read those statistics? Were they putting them in situational down and distances that
yeah.
I know they had, like you said, I was told that there was drops by the receivers, so it made the quarterback's numbers not look as good as they could have been. What offensive line didn't participate? What was the lineup? Was it was there some ones mixed with twos?
Yeah, it's hard to read. You're right.
Yep.
Mike, another guy that's going to play a lot of different spots for the Tigers defense is Jacoby Stevens, the former wide receiver converted to safety. He's going to play some nickel corner. It's got to be a good thing when a kid can play in more than one spot, help the defense, and be really versatile. I know that's something that Jacoby Stevens really prides himself on.
And look, he comes out for all the interviews. I think he's been out like 3 or 4 times already for interviews. And, he was a kid, for the early part of last season, you were wondering, okay, he's moved from defense to offense and back again, and is he ever going to live up to that lofty ranking out of high school? Is he a guy that's good at several things but great at none? And then all of a sudden the light switch got clicked on for him mid-season on, and he talks about that in the interviews where he's he knows what he is and what he's supposed to do at his position, and I think he's absolutely happy. So, and he's physical. I mean, he's just a big kid. he's that tweener safety linebacker type that they absolutely love in Aranda's defense.
And he's one of those guys that's going to add to that sack total. By the way, I'll be very disappointed if LSU doesn't get over 40 sacks this year. Had 34 last year, gave up 35. That number needs to be closer to 20. Mike, Chason tweeted out when Corey committed, if you could, give us the last couple of commitments that have come down the road, where LSU's at, what you expect them to do for numbers early in the December time, and could they leave a spot or two, or could they sign all 25 in the early signing period in mid-December?
Well, yeah, Coy Moore went down Saturday night at about almost 9:30. Absolutely amazing when we went Facebook Live. I think within 30 minutes we had like 8,000 views on our Facebook Live. It was people like recruiting so much they're tuning in at 9:30 on a Saturday night.
Right.
But yeah, fourth wide receiver in the class from Rummel. You know, a lot of people thought that maybe he wouldn't want to be a part of the class because of having Boutte and Burton and Jarrett already in the fold, and did he want to be a fourth wide receiver? He mentioned Joe Brady being a big factor in his interview with us. And so, yeah, but now you're at 23 commitments. Will they take a running back in this class? If it's not a guy like Zach Evans, will they go ahead and take a Shad Johnson, or would they maybe hold back because they need to still add Jacoby and Guillory, who I hope to see tomorrow when I'm in Alexandria. You've got, still need Marcus Dumerville or a couple of more offensive linemen in this class. We keep talking about offensive linemen. We've been doing our chat, and people are moaning about that position. As strong as this recruiting class is, they've got to have some more offensive linemen. They want another outside linebacker. They want another safety. So, we talk about it every week. With what they want to add, with the numbers that are on paper right now available, something's got to give. So it's going to be an interesting several months here leading into that first signing period in December.
Yeah, Mike, I know names like Van Pran commits to Georgia. Guys came off the board, but as Buddy alluded to, Chason kind of tweeted out that, yeah, Rummel was going to be a pipeline to LSU, but watch out for North Shore. Some guys might be coming from North Shore to LSU. What was he alluding to? What's possibly coming to LSU?
Yeah, he's talking about five-star running back Zach Evans.
That's right.
We did a feature on him a couple of weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. And
well, he's also
the word we were getting last week was that Georgia was now the team to beat for him.
Yeah.
And people saying, what, he's going to go there after they got Kendall Milton, five-star running back from California, and, Evans is a high-confidence kid, and I don't think that phases him. So we'll see. I still think LSU's a strong player there, good relationship with LSU. But again, once the season starts, let's see who's on the sidelines. Let's pay attention to where these kids go on their unofficial visits. It would be really good for LSU if they can somehow get Evans in for multiple games, or if he heads to Austin week 2 for that night game in Austin between LSU and Texas, and then get him on campus for one of the marquee games or multiple of them, Auburn A&M, Florida.
And he's got a teammate who is a offensive lineman, JP, who's committed to Alabama. So maybe a 2-for-1 deal, although we really hadn't talked about that O-lineman much because he's been committed to Alabama for a while, Mike.
Yeah, that just doesn't seem like that's going to be one that could be flipped. You got the Crawford kid, East Texas, committed to Arkansas, that would be a guy that maybe you talk about flipping, but it's, boy, the pickings are slim when you've got one offensive line commitment and you went into the year talking about wanting 4. So, is it a deal where, you maybe add one more and then you reclassify Cameron Jackson as an offensive lineman to make your offensive line group look bigger than it is? I don't know.
All right, Mike, once again, wrapping it up, tell everybody what you have. Of course, it is Wednesdays, and that means all-day chat, but plenty of other stuff, and the site has just been loaded up all of the fall camp.
No doubt. And one of our best features that get people excited are your practice reports. So we very much appreciate your addition and the stuff you've been adding to the site. But yeah, TigerBaits.com. Check us out if you're an LSU fan. We want to have you as a premium subscriber. $1 is all it takes to get started. So give us a try. We really think you'll enjoy the website.
All right, Mike. Certainly appreciate everything you do here at Tigers Roar. Look forward to speaking with you again next week.
Thanks, Mike.
Okay, thank you.
All right, guy.
Mike Scarborough always does a great job. Certainly glad to hear from him right here on Tigers Roar. Guys, to a quick break. We'll come back and hear from the quarterback from LSU, number 9, Joe Burrow, right here on Tigers Roar.
Taste the feeling.
Hubby. Can't wait for tonight. Where are we meeting?
Tonight? Date night? Oh. Find sushi restaurant.
Let's try wasabi sushi.
Route to sushi.
The destination is on your left.
Play our song.
Pioneer in-dash systems with Apple CarPlay. Get yours installed today at your local Mesa retailer.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent.
Depend on us for service, for selection, for price.
Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing.
You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
For Total Home Pest Control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvat.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
Welcome back into Scoreboards. This is Tigers Roar. I am Jonathan Poche alongside Buddy Sanji, the Bud Man. Ready to talk some more LSU football. I want to talk about the quarterback, number 9, Mr. Joe Burrow. A lot will be on his shoulders this year with the new offense coming in. You have Steve Ensminger, the RPO specialist, and Joe Brady. A lot more things on his plate. Good thing for Joe Burrow. This has been the system he's been running since high school in Ohio and again in Ohio State.
Joe is so excited, and you could tell he's trying to calm everybody down. But I really believe if you asked him, he would say he's going to throw close to 300 yards a game. Now, we don't know what they're going to do. Coach O continues to mention 50-50, but I looked up the stats, and they had appreciable more passing yards last year than run yards. You want to keep the defense honest. You want to keep them trying to figure out what you're going to do. The run-pass option where Joe runs is great, but just think this, folks. Shotgun, 3, 4, 5 wides, empty backfield. He gets it, he grips it, he throws it a lot in space. And when you get your guys out in space, they've got to come up and tackle. And that means Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to be flanked out at times. That means Chase, Marshall, Jefferson, Racey McMath, Jontre Kirkland. Then you get into the 2 freshmen, obviously Trey Palmer and Devonta Lee. Jahray Jenkins, Dillon has been hurt. So Derek Dillon has been hurt, probably not in a lot of the plans early. And then you got a couple tight ends now with Stephon Sullivan, who's been hurt, but Thaddeus Moss, what a great story after what he went through last year. Once again, I know it's a tired song that you keep hearing us sing, but if that offensive line can protect Joe, give him enough time to distribute it, and then you have some semblance of a running back to keep teams honest and not loading up. The one thing you got to remember now, when you do go hurry up and up tempo, is if you have 2 or 3 and outs, the defense plays a few more plays. So we'll see what Ensminger and, of course, Joe Brady can do conjuring up the game plans. But it's going to be a lot of fun, JP.
We certainly have high expectations for Joe Burrow in this new offense, but don't take our word for it. Here's Joe Burrow himself to give you his expectations of what this group could be. He says they could be the best in the nation. No telling how far they can go. Here's the quarterback, Joe Burrow, very recently talking about his expectations for the 2019 season.
Camp is camp. It's not fun. It's not fun. Just camp. Camp is hard work, and we've been getting after it.
How much better do you feel this year as opposed to last year after getting all this under your belt?
No, it's not even close. I feel like a seasoned vet out there, getting really just ready to play the game. I'm excited to get going.
How much better are your teammates, and how much better did you make them through the course of this summer by getting together in here and doing what y'all needed to do?
Yeah, I think we all made each other better. We had a lot of guys coming back, so the camaraderie on the team is really, really good right now.
What about your receivers? Who's standing out? The thing interesting to me was Racey today at practice.
Yeah, Racey's had a great camp. I'm excited to get to see what he's going to do with his opportunities this year. He's definitely going to be in the game, and he's a big target that I can throw it up to.
Do you feel like Jefferson and Jamar and Terrace, all those guys have kind of taken that next?
They all had the camp I expected them to have. They played really, really well, and I'm excited for them to be able to showcase their abilities this year.
What differences Joe made with what you guys are doing, and how does that continue to evolve every day?
Yeah, Coach Joe has brought a lot of really good things, and Coach E has really brought a lot of really good things as well. We're still kind of evolving as well, trying to, we're putting the finishing touches on who we are, and that'll kind of be finalized before next week.
Joe, what is block out the noise?
Everything that you guys write, we try not to read it in one sentence.
So your preseason number 6 in both polls. Has it been hard not to pay attention to that and say, hey, we're going to be pretty good?
We see it, but we knew we were going to be pretty good last year, and we were unranked last year, I think. Preseason polls don't really mean a whole lot. It's just a little number on the screen when you're playing on ESPN, and the ones at the end of the year really matter.
Joe, how much different is the role of the running back, especially as pass catchers in this offense?
Yeah, they're they're getting a lot better, and in this offense, they're going to have to catch the ball, and they're getting really smooth, getting really good at understanding the routes that they're running.
Joe, what does the playbook look like to you now? I mean, you digested it a little bit better than a year ago. When you see a play, how long does it take you to recognize it and run it?
Yeah, it's never really taken me very long. If you draw a play up on the board, I can put it on the field that day, and that's always something I've prided myself in.
Joe, you took a lot of shots last year. Obviously, you're a quarterback who can run, but is there any adjustment during this camp on maybe protecting you a little better throughout the season?
As far as me personally, no, I'm going to play my game. The O-line, I just want to, kind of brag on them. They've had a hell of a camp. They're one of the most improved groups I've ever been around. Those 5, 6, 7 guys work their tails off all off season. I'm so proud of those guys.
What does that with healthy Miles enable you to do on Saturdays?
I think, I'm going to play the way I've always played, but I think it gives more confidence to the coaching staff that, you can run me a little bit more knowing Miles is capable and a really good player behind me.
When you see those 2 young running backs, what kind of game do they have? I mean, I know it's early, but they're going to be counted on, I'm sure.
Yeah, they're going to play, and you can see the talent that they have on the field immediately. And they're still freshmen, and so there's still room to grow, but they definitely have the talent.
Do you feel like whoever it is going to be a good compliment to you, make you feel a little bit more comfortable to hand it off when the passing game is?
Absolutely. We have 4 or 5 really, really good running backs that I feel confident putting in the game.
Do you feel like you're in a totally new offense?
No, not totally new. We have some new concepts, but the foundation of the offense is the same.
Thaddeus Small said you proved you could play last year, but he was most impressed with your toughness. Is toughness something you're born with? Is it, and then that Fiesta Bowl when you got hit like you did and got back up? I mean, you feel like you really won your team over with stuff like that?
I hope I won them over before that. If it took me that long to win them over, then I wasn't doing my job. So I hope I had them won over before that, but. As far as toughness I feel like you can be born with it, but I feel like it's also something that you have to train and practice.
The Miami game, you won your team over there. I mean, right off the bat.
I hope I won them over in camp. I hope I won them over when I first got here. But it takes a while, so I guess some people have different answers on that one.
Tell me about Thad.
Please.
Tell me about Thad. Does anybody got a good one?
Let me talk about Thad.
Just kind of what he's been through, and I guess how much you guys are going to count on him.
We're counting on Thad a lot. He's had a great camp as well. This is really the first time I've seen Thad showcase his talents because he's been injured and hurt just about the whole time I've been here. I've seen him in the off season last year and this year, but this is really the first time that his talents have been on display, and he's had a hell of a camp. I'm really excited for him too.
To hand it off when the passing game is.
Absolutely. We have 4 or 5 really, really good running backs that I feel confident putting in the game.
Do you feel like you're in a totally new offense?
No, not totally new. We have some new concepts, but the foundation of the offense is the same.
Thaddeus Small said you proved you could play last year, but he was most impressed with your toughness. Is toughness something you're born with? Is it, and then that Fiesta Bowl when you got hit like you did and got back up? I mean, you feel like you really won your team over with stuff like that?
I hope I won them over before that. If it took me that long to win them over, then I wasn't doing my job. So I hope I had them won over before that. But as far as toughness I feel like you can be born with it, but I feel like it's also something that you have to train and practice.
The Miami game, you won your team over there. I mean, right off the bat.
I hope I won them over in camp. I hope I won them over when I first got here. But it takes a while, so. I guess some people have different answers on that one.
Tell me about Thad.
Please.
Tell me about Thad. Does anybody got a good one?
Let me talk about Thad.
Just kind of what he's been through, and I guess how much you guys are going to count on him.
We're counting on Thad a lot. He's had a great camp as well. This is really the first time I've seen Thad showcase his talents because he's been injured and hurt just about the whole time I've been here. I've seen him in the off season last year and this year, but this is really the first time that his talents have been on display, and he's had a hell of a camp. I'm really excited for him too.
That was quarterback Joe Burrow, senior this year. Certainly high expectations. He thinks his group could be the best in the nation. He's going to have a lot on his plate. He's the offensive leader We thought he had a run to get that number 18. Stuck with number 9, but look, he's going to be definitely the leader on that offense.
Are you buying over 3,000 yards passing like I've been saying?
We'll see.
Whoa, okay.
I'm from Missouri, as you like to say, the show me state.
Well, a lot of people are cautiously optimistic, and I will say this: it is going to get it's going to take everybody a little time to get acclimated to see LSU in the shotgun and really not huddle and
that's what I'm saying,
and up tempo and all of that.
That's what I'm saying.
I will tell you this: I think it's going to be a lot of fun simply because these passes are so quick and they're dumps into the flat, and now you're watching Clyde Edwards-Helaire and all these other guys utilize their great talent. So, but hey, we talked a lot about the offense. Let's get into the defense, and of course, no Devin White, but we know Grant Delpit is going to be the Devin White of the defense this year.
Grant Delpit wearing number 7 this season, going to be the leader on the defense, hopefully making as many plays as he made last year. Definitely a talented young junior. The whole nation is going to be watching for him to make plays. I want to let you hear from Grant Delpit, his return to practice, how he's been progressing, and what he's feeling about this 2019 campaign. Here is junior safety Grant Delpit.
Describe block out the noise. What is it?
Block out the noise would just be any good or bad or anything you hear about yourself or the team. It's just really just putting the team first and putting the goal of just winning first and not getting staying level-headed and not getting big-headed. And it's just that's what blocking out the noise is pretty much.
Now that you've got 3 weeks under your belt, what do you think the potential of this team is?
I think we have a very high ceiling. We can go further than we've ever been. I feel like we can only beat ourselves, but that's just my opinion. I think we can be one of the best teams in the nation. If we just execute and do what we're supposed to do.
How good is that dude over there?
Joe? Oh, he's great. He showed me every day that he's getting better and better, progressing as a SEC quarterback and just a quarterback, one of the best in the nation. So he's getting better. It's kind of aggravating in practice when you don't get I don't get a lot of picks and stuff because he always makes the right throw all the time. So he's getting way better.
Is it more complicated? Is it more complicated to figure out what they're doing against you in practice?
Yeah, it's getting more and more complicated. As time goes on, they throughout camp they just try to expand and expand that offense. So yeah, it was tough, but I'm always on him. He always know where I'm at.
How's your health right now?
I'm back to 100. I'm good.
You're 100.
Yes, sir.
Grant, is this the best secondary in the country?
This is the best secondary in the country, no doubt. That's without a doubt in my mind. It's some people that don't believe that, but we're not trying to prove that to anybody. We're trying to just prove it to ourselves. We're trying to get the most picks, the most plays, most, just knowing your assignment and all that. So, yeah, I think we definitely have a very talented group.
Grant, what was most disappointing about the defense last year, and what do you want to improve most on?
We had a couple games that we dropped just off of simple stuff that I feel like we could have won those games. I don't think it was just on the defense, but we had a pretty solid defense last year. I wouldn't say I was disappointed. It's just I think that this year, we got a lot of guys coming back, and I think we should do pretty good.
What makes Stingley stand out?
Just his maturity right now. He's very mature for his age. He's only 18, so but you wouldn't know it. You'd think he's like my age out there. The way he plays, he plays hard, and he knows what he's doing. So when you do that, he's very mature.
The thing that struck me at practice the other day was you guys were running some secondary sets, and it just seemed like you were very versatile as far as who's doing what, and it could change on a dime. Is that kind of that next level that Dave's always been trying to get to?
Yeah, definitely. This game week one we got coming up. This game it's not going to be a lot of versatility going around because of the offense we're playing, but it's always good to put in so we can go back and watch it that we did in camp, if we want to put it in during the season. So, yeah, we're just trying to mix things up.
Is it the disguising that'll be a strength later in the season, you feel like?
Yeah, all that. Disguising, more guys on the field, just knowing all positions at all times. Just all that type of stuff that I try to do, and we try to just preach to the young guys and preach to everybody in the DB room.
What can you see out of this new offense? Do you see that it's going to be dangerous?
Yeah, I see it's going to be dangerous. I see it's going to be high-powered. I see that we're going to get the ball in the playmakers' hands and just make them make plays in space. trying to tackle open field is one of the most hardest things to do in football. So that's what our offense is trying to do, trying to get in the playmakers' hands. So I think they're going to be dangerous.
You've seen Jamar and Terrace, before. Do you feel like the light switch flipped for them in that bowl game or those preps, and they kind of are ready to be on this stage?
Yeah, definitely. Just getting years under your belt, just games being played, that's always going to help, boost confidence and boost, just make you more mature and just know what you have to do. So I think those guys were young, they were freshmen last year, and they're progressing pretty well. As y'all seen in camp, they're coming along pretty good.
Has Racy been kind of surprised?
Oh yeah, Racy took one to the house today, probably like 80, 75 yards. So he's a big body. He's he works like a horse. And he's a tough guy to bring down, so yeah, Racy's definitely coming along.
He's one that nobody's talking about, though.
Yeah, he's a sleeper. They're sleeping on him.
Compared to what you saw from this offense a year ago in camp, are they using running backs at all different? Are they more involved in the pass game?
Oh yeah, definitely. Clyde's one of the most shifty guys in the nation. They put Clyde outside, get him in the boundary, let him run shake routes, all that. So definitely they're using the backs in the passing game. And it's hard because the backs got to line up on the linebacker, and that's always a tough matchup for the backer. So that's a good matchup that they're working on.
I know you won a distinction in the spring, of number 7. Just I guess speak to that honor, and has it maybe dawned on you even a little bit more of just what it means to wear that number since then?
Yeah, of course. 7s is it's a legendary tradition. I don't feel any pressure to make more plays or do whatever. It's just me going out there playing my game, playing the game I love, football. So, it's definitely an honor and a blessing. And it's not a weight on my shoulders. I just love to play football and just go do what I do.
Welcome back into Tigers Roar. Just got some awesome food brought to the desk. Want to get a shot of that real quick. Got some boiled shrimp, some smoked wings, and that famous bread pudding. I promise you, it smells much better than it looks. Even though it looks absolutely wonderful, the smell up here is ridiculous right now at Scoreboards. Got to get to a quick break. We'll come back and do some more LSU football. Clavon Chase on right after this break, right here on Tigers Roar.
We've been fighting the war on drugs for a long time. We answer the phone 24/7, 365 days a year. On a busy night, we answer hundreds of calls. This war on drugs needs our intervention.
Since 2014, Addiction Hope and Helpline has helped people struggling with drugs and alcohol.
When the phone rings, we help people when they need it the most. When we get a caller into treatment, it feels right. It feels good. It's a blessing.
If you're struggling, drinking, using, and need to get clean, don't suffer alone in silence. Call Addiction Hope and Helpline.
Our people understand, and many are also in recovery. Call for support and strength. You can call for someone who can't or isn't willing. It's an act of love. Together we can help you beat this thing and erase addiction from your vocabulary once and for all.
Call 800-383-8177, 800-383-8177.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Cantea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Cantea, your Italian dining will change forever.
For Total Home Pest Control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvat.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down.
taste the feeling.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people.
You can know the right people too.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Hello. Hola. 你好.
Experience what the Baton Rouge International School can offer your children. Now welcoming displaced students for short and long-term stability.
Tigers Roar want to get right into it because we're kind of crunched on time. Here is number 18 outside linebacker Clavon Chason looking to have a very big year for the Tigers. Here he is. Here is Clavon Chason right here on Tigers Roar.
Lighthearted stuff to start you out. Now we're from Louisiana. When I see your name, I want to call you Chasson.
Right.
But that is not correct.
I mean, I can't tell Louisianans how to say a Louisiana name, so that's like, but from where I'm from, in my hometown in Houston, we say Chason. That's how my mother taught me how to say my name. But it's from this area. I obviously have people from New Iberia. My mother, she's from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, actually. So that's how they say it down here. So we just say it that way from where I'm from.
We should just think you're going to chase quarterbacks, right?
Chase. There we go.
Just like that.
Was it important to tweet out that it wasn't your name?
Definitely. I don't want to. I promise you, whatever the injury was, it's not that serious. It was just something very, very minor. There's nothing major. I could have played through it, but rather be safe than sorry in the end of the day. So.
Is that the difference with like players and fans these days? You kind of have these interactions now or ways to communicate to them, whereas in the past maybe you never
Definitely.
Because
I don't want. I mean, obviously, I'm a big people's person, so I don't want anybody to have any worries, anything going on. Obviously, missing last year, a major part of the season, so and people were worried, but there's none of that going on this year. Hopefully, God gave me the given ability to go throughout the whole season healthy, but. Like I said, it was a minor injury. I didn't want anybody worried. Just rather be safe than sorry.
What kind of personality and spirit is Torrey Carter?
Torrey Carter? That's a funny dude, but Torrey's like, I wouldn't say bipolar. It's like off the field, he's a laughing, goofy person. On the field, it's like he trying to knock your head off. I was like, bro, you remember we on the same team, right? Like, we good. But that's somebody like obviously you want to have on your team. Just off the field, he's a great person. And on the field, he's gonna get the job done by any means necessary.
Like the eye black and
yeah, that's like it was very new. I thought that was just a movie thing, when people go into war in the woods or something. But I saw him do it, then KJ Malone did it. So it's just like it was very new to me. I was like I wasn't really sure how I was supposed to take part in that.
How do you feel you get how do you get a feel for this team scrimmages? Where some of your star players aren't in it. You kind of know what those guys can do, but do you feel like you could have a good handle on where this team's at and where maybe it needs to be in these next 2 weeks?
Definitely. I mean, obviously, you want everybody doing fall camp. It's a good point where you can serve, obviously, players. You don't want them to get hurt, but at the end of the day, the season is approaching, so you want all 11 starters and all 11 guys that are going to be on the field all on the same page. But the good thing about when people are sitting out, everyone's in the film room, we all watching, you know what I'm saying? We all getting mental reps on the sideline, so it's not that we're just not involved, but we're still involved, just not in the physical aspect of the game.
How has Ed's approach this year towards a kind of a more free-flowing attack? Something that he wanted you guys, maybe that's what he told us at least, that he wants you guys to get more aggressive, more active, maybe less constrained, more. Is that showing? Do you feel like that's a better helping you?
Definitely showing. I feel like the previous the previous system we was running, it was a great system, don't get me wrong, but I feel like this system shows more of the athletic ability that we recruit in. You know, it's more attacking and using the God-given ability that some are not blessed with. So this new system that we run is definitely helpful for in all aspects of the defense, as far as penetration, speed, size, strength, and we're using it to the right way.
What is block out the noise?
In our opinion, we don't really listen to outsiders. You know, I mean, as far as you guys, I mean, I get you guys. I mean, you have a job, but whether you say anything good or bad about us, we're not really worried about it. We know inside and internally what we can do. You know, we know how we control things, and we know no matter what the outsiders say, they don't have control over how we play our game and what we can and can't do.
Number 6 in the country, is that noise that came out today?
That's what it is. I guess so, but like I said, we know where we need to be. We know we're not where we want to be, obviously. We know if we're number 6, that means there's 5 teams ahead of us that we got to get to. So obviously you can never be good enough. We got to keep on working. But we also know that even if we were number 1, number 0, however the case may go, it's always room for improvement. So regardless of what the rankings may be, we always got room to improve and keep on going.
Talked about, you want all 11 starters on the field, but backup quarterback Myles Brennan, just how has he been doing?
Great. I mean, great. Obviously, it's still, I mean, we have a starter in Joe Burrow, but I mean, there's not just no easy start. I mean, obviously, Myles is pushing Joe every week. Throughout the scrimmages, watching him, he's been a phenomenal player from on and off the field, from breaking down plays. And I feel like quarterback, obviously, is one of the hardest position, because you got to know all 21 players, everything they have to do. So you can't only know yours, but you have to know every other 21 people on the field. So as far as getting in, I feel like that's a hard job, and he's handling it well, and he's doing very well. So it's not just Joe's is an efficient starter, it's your first starter, but he's giving Joe a little push.
Do you drop in coverage as well?
That was Clavon Chaisson, the new donor of the 18 number, certainly a leader for the LSU Tigers. He's expecting huge things along a defensive line. If he can really get going, the sky's the limit for that defense. Lots of sacks to come and a lot of turnovers. That's what we're hoping for this new 2019 campaign for the LSU Tigers. Before we go, I want to thank you guys for watching Tigers Roar. I'm John Poche. He's Buddy Sanji. Definitely tune in next week and catch us on YouTube at PelicanSports.com. Thanks again. We'll see you next week.